They thought the fever had finally broken. A half-court grab, a cheap shoulder check, and a sarcastic thumbs-up from Caitlin Clark had Atlanta's home crowd roaring as if the rookie sharpshooter had been silenced for good. Yet behind that half-smile, she was nursing a low-grade stomach bug. Her legs felt heavier than wet cement, and she still refused to sit. 5 minutes later, the Dream discovered the one truth echoing through packed arenas and record-shattering television audiences. The only thing more dangerous than a red-hot Caitlin Clark is an underestimated one. The friction was inevitable. Less than 72 hours earlier, Clark had tangled with Angel Reese in a game that drew 2.7 million viewers, ESPN's biggest WNBA regular season audience in a quarter century. Coaches whispered that the league's new formula for fame was simple: stop Clark once, and your highlight lives forever. Atlanta assigned that mission to 2022 Rookie of the Year Rhyne Howard. Her strategy? Grab Clark's jersey on every drive, dig elbows into every screen, and chirp after every whistle. Howard's opening act was a tug at midcourt that went uncalled. Clark spun, offered a theatrically polite thumbs-up, viral within minutes, and jogged away. The moment set social media ablaze and told 10,000 fans the story wasn't over. But Howard wanted more than memes. She wanted to rewrite the scoreboard. She stalked Clark over every inch of hardwood, bumping hips, swiping wrists. For the first 6 minutes, the Fever offense stalled, their rookie star marooned at the top of the arc with nowhere to breathe. The Dream surged to a 9-point lead, and State Farm Arena buzzed with the question, had the blueprint finally been printed? What Atlanta didn't realize was that Fever coach Stephanie White was already folding that page into an airplane and aiming it straight back at them. And that was only the opening shove. Replays would later show at least 4 separate jersey pulls in the opening quarter. None whistled. Pundit Ryan Clark roasted the officials on a late-night panel, calling the non-calls dangerously close to negligence, as the clip of Howard wrenching Clark's arm looped behind him. TalkSport fans flooded timelines with freeze frames, red circles highlighting bruises blooming across Clark's shoulder. The league loves physical basketball, but this? It felt like open season. Clark's answer was not a shove, not a scream, but a pivot. If the refs refused to protect her, she would protect the ball. She slowed the pace, widening dribbles, baiting defenders into lunges she could slide past. Drives became decoys, passes became scalpels. The rookie lasered a left-handed bounce through 2 defenders for a Natasha Howard lay-in and chirped, "Try grabbing that." Cameras caught it, the arena felt it, and suddenly the Dream's bravado wobbled. Yet Howard doubled down, a forearm to Clark's ribs, a shove after the whistle. Clark's response was little more than a glare and the sentence that microphones barely caught. "I'm not scared of you." The Times of India. The words would headline every highlight show within an hour. But Stephanie White had already reached for a bigger hammer, because physicality can batter one player, but it can't guard 4 at once. Out came the sluggish starters. In came pure octane. Sophie Cunningham, fresh off an ankle sprain, sprinted onto the floor. Lexi Hull, owner of a league-leading 48% clip from deep, flanked her on the wing. With Kelsey Mitchell streaking to corners and Caitlin orchestrating from up top, the geometry of Atlanta's defense shattered. First possession, Hull flared off a stagger screen, swish. Next, Cunningham ghost cut behind a staring defender, easy reverse. Atlanta pivoted to zone, Clark yo-yoed the ball, skipped a cross-court dart to Mitchell, cash. In 4 possessions, the lead shrank from 9-1 and the Dream's bench began to stir. Numbers told the secret, with Clark, Cunningham, Hull, and Mitchell sharing the floor. The Fever scored at a blistering 1.47 points per trip, almost double their first quarter start. Over those minutes, Hull hunted the corners like a prowling cat. Cunningham chased every loose ball, and Clark, still 1 for 8 from the field, stacked assist after assist. Howard kept fouling. The whistle finally blew, but only a common foul. The crowd booed the delay, yet it was a mercy call. Without it, the roof might have lifted. Stephanie White had changed the question, and Rhyne Howard still didn't know the answer. The second quarter opened with Clark's worst stat line of the season: 3 points, 1 field goal, 0 threes. Viewers unfamiliar with her Iowa days wondered if the magic had evaporated. Then came sequence 1, coast-to-coast dribble, hesitation, wraparound dime to a trailing Dantas for an and 1. Sequence 2, broken play, shot clock at 3, Clark slings a 35-foot skip. Hull buries it as the horn screams. Sequence 3, Cunningham steals at half court, flips to Clark, who threads a no-look between 2 legs. Mitchell spins it off glass. In 2 minutes, the rookie notched 3 assists, 2 hockey assists, and sent Atlanta's coach begging for a timeout. By halftime, she already led everyone with 7 dimes, despite scoring just a single field goal. Still, Howard barked. "Can't guard me," she crowed after drilling a top-key triple. Clark jogged back on offense, chest heaving, grin stretching. The basketball found her palms. One hard dribble left, step back, bang. Her first 3 of the night. The 140-game streak with a made 3 looked dead earlier. Now it breathed. And while the arena replayed that highlight, Clark whispered to Dantas, "They think I'm tired. Let's sprint them to death." Because she knew the toughest legs are often the ones people swear should be jelly. Tension sells, and the WNBA cash register rang. Clips of Clark's thumbs up, her not scared rebuttal, and Howard's howl raced across phones. The game jumped to trending #1 on X and climbed past 800,000 concurrent streamers on WNBA League Pass. Unheard of for a Thursday night. ESPN broke in with a live look-in, capitalizing on the same appetite that had produced that 2.7 million viewer Clark-Reese showdown 4 days earlier. Inside the building, Howard's eyes widened every time Clark approached. Cunningham took notice, nudging her rookie teammate. "She's rattled." Next possession, Sophie burned past Howard for a lay-in, pounding her chest. Mitchell added a heat-check 3, screaming, "Boom!" as the net snapped. But the dream refused to disappear. Howard hit back-to-back mid-range jumpers, complete with the head bob and a pointed finger toward Clark. Viewers at home saw what looked like a heavyweight exchange, and the score stayed glued within 2 baskets. Then, at 3:08 of the third, Howard shoved Clark after yet another whistle. No flagrant, only booze. Clark brushed imaginary dust from her jersey and winked at a courtside fan. That image, part glare, part grin, hit social media before the next inbound. Yet trash talk without closing power is just sound. And the fourth quarter would test who could actually slam the door. Clark opened the final frame down 3, but glowing with that dangerous calm shooters wear before they detonate. She slid a split-action screen for Hull, popped to the wing and drew 2 defenders. Hull slipped baseline. Bucket. Next up, Clark faked a handoff, darted inside, kicked to Cunningham. Corner money. The Fever led again. Atlanta's coach begged for a response. Howard delivered with a deep triple, stomping and shouting, "You can't guard me." The replay showed Clark nodding, almost appreciative, as she jogged up court. On the ensuing possession, she drew a foul 30 feet from the rim and coolly sank 2 free throws, tying it at 72. Cunningham morphed into enforcer. She jumped a passing lane, ripped the ball, Euro-stepped through flying arms, whistled for a questionable travel, then shrugged like, "Call whatever, I'll do it again." Next dream possession, Sophie simply yanked the rebound away, sprinted coast to coast, crossed 1 then 2 defenders, and flicked in a lefty layup. Fever by 4, 1:41 remaining. Atlanta called time. The camera caught Howard staring into space as if the court itself had shrunk under her sneakers. But Clark refused to let tension die quietly. She leaned into the huddle, voice hoarse. Swiss bank pass on 3, secure as gold. Teammates laughed, nerves cracked, and resolve hardened. Because championships aren't won in May, but habits of closing are born there. Clock at 3 o'clock, tie game. Clark dribbles high left, screen from Howard. Natasha, that is. Dream switch. Rookie attacks downhill. Defense collapses. Kick. Hull corner. Network Fever +3, 2:22. Dream reply. Howard jab steps, buries another triple, roaring at the visiting bench. Even. 1:58. Cunningham leak out, fouled in transition, hits 1 of 2. Fever +1, 1:32. Howard curl in the lane, soft touch, Dream +1. She beats her chest, yelling words lost in crowd noise. 1:05. Clark snakes a pick and roll, draws triple team, skips a left-hand laser to Mitchell, splash. Fever +2, 0:44. Dream miss, rebound Hull. Fever milk clock, 0:18. Clark crossover, stutter, hesitation. Howard reaches, whistle, 2 free throws, swish, swish. Fever +4. Crowd groans, 0:07. Desperate heave from Atlanta. Off iron. Cunningham skies, yanks rebound, and time expires in her grasp. Fever win 81-76, a score that hardly conveys the storm that just blew through. Within an hour, league sources leaked that the WNBA office was reviewing multiple instances of contact between Howard and Clark for potential fines. Reporters added an eyebrow-raising footnote. Clark had played the entire game while fighting a stomach bug, subsisting on electrolytes and stubbornness. Neither rumor has been confirmed, but insiders expect clarity before tip-off at Madison Square Garden in less than 24 hours. Meanwhile, television executives cheered. A Tuesday press release from ESPN trumpeted historic momentum, citing that 2.7 million viewer Reese game and a 115% year-over-year ratings jump. SI. The network quietly added a flex clause to its June schedule, ready to beam any future Fever Dream grudge match into primetime. Inside the Fever locker room, Clark iced knees, Cunningham flexed sore shoulders, Hull FaceTimed family, and Stephanie White peeked at the stat sheet. 11 assists, 4 turnovers, plus 7 in 36 rugged minutes for her rookie point guard. "That's a bad night?" she half joked. Everyone laughed because they understood the point. Tomorrow the defending champion Liberty await. Sabrina Ionescu tweeted an hour after the final horn. "See you soon, Rook." Fire emojis followed, and so the sprint continues. If a stomach bug, a wrestling match, and the ugliest officiating of the young season can't derail Caitlin Clark, what exactly will? Atlanta threw jersey pulls, shoulder checks, and booming taunts. All they earned in return was a viral thumbs up, an 81-76 loss, and the distinct honor of being the latest scene in a highlight reel that's rewriting how the world watches women's hoops. The Fever have 4 closers, a coach unafraid to reshuffle on the fly, and a rookie already carrying primetime ratings on her shoulders. And that was only Game 3 of the season. Somewhere in New York, a scouting report just burst into flames.